Bienvenidos y bienvenidas una vez más a Lichald Scott MMA y en esta ocasión tenemos una nueva entrevista en inglés y nos acompaña Ben Davies, una persona a la cual yo admiro mucho. How you doing, my friend?
Oh, I could not be better. Thank you so much for inviting me on today. I really appreciate it, brother.
Oh, always, man. You know, since we met, I see, hey, this is my man. Ben is a great man. I mean, the things you do, the sense of humor, everything. I'm glad to know you, man. I told you, I'm glad to know you. So you graduated recently, right? You had the
I did.
graduation.
Yeah, so thank you, man. I really appreciate that. Earlier this month, I was able to graduate from ASU, which a lot of people would probably say isn't a huge accomplishment. But we got it done, baby. We snatched up the diploma and
Hell
we've
yeah.
moved on from education.
Hell yeah, man. So we met at PFL. It
Mhm.
was a great experience. But after I mean before that, who are you? Like your beginnings. I wanna
Yeah.
ask you about your beginnings because why you decide to cover MMA and not football or basketball or other sport? Why MMA?
Well, the simplest answer, of course, is that's just where my interests are. I'm not a big fan of other sports, man, whether it be NFL,
Mm,
NBA, MLB, soccer. Like I really don't enjoy watching them all that much. It's just not that exciting. But with MMA and the unpredictability and the kind of individualistic aspect, you really get invested in these fighters and their stories and their success, their losses, just their
mhm,
careers overall. That's not something that I was ever able to find with other sports, right? NFL,
mhm,
it's like you got the teams and people would be so deep in their knowledge of the players and they're like, oh, these running backs and these linemen and all these things. And it's just too much. It's too much. So I love the simplicity of MMA and the respect that is in it. I think that there are some big names that give negative connotations about the sport. But overall, man, these are martial artists. There's a lot of respect that's exchanged and given. And that is,
mhm.
that it's admirable, and it's something that again you just don't kind of see all the time in other sports.
So why MMA?
Yeah.
Your family watch MMA. You saw one fight one day, and you decide this
Yeah,
is this.
I'll give you how I got into MMA. It's a kind of a funny story. A former friend of mine, his name was Robbie. We were sophomores in high school. He was my best friend at
Mm,
the time, and it was UFC. Maybe 214, 217. It wasn't 217, but it was John Jones and Daniel Cormier too. It was their
mm,
rematch. Obviously, Jones head kicks DC, game over. But we're at a Buffalo Wild Wings. I never watched fights before this,
mhm.
and I was terrified, right? Because I looked around and it's all these people. Dude, they're wearing leather. It's like a Harley Davidson meetup, dude. And so I'm like really scared because the optics aren't really great.
Yeah.
But everyone was so nice. It was the most kind community, and you can't judge a book by its cover. And so we had a fantastic night. And
Mm,
after that, man, I mean, I was able to get into it casually. I will admit, right? Because I'm obviously a bit newer as a fan, and I was huge into Connor. And I
mhm.
remember we were watching the Habib fight down in Tucson because he went to U of A, which is always a funny thing. And dude, I was the biggest Connor dick rider of all time. It was bad. It was bad.
How bad?
But that's how bad to the point where he gets knocked down in round two, and I'm like, he can come back from this. He's fine. He's getting dominated, and I was like, no, he's got that one punch power, dude. That one bam. It was like it's like the classic, like all the memes. That's exactly
Yeah.
who I was. But then over the years, you just evolve. You get deeper into it, and you become. I would say I don't want to say that those types of fans aren't authentic type fans, but
Mhm.
the depth of your knowledge of the sport and the athletes and people outside the UFC, of course, it
Of
gets
course.
deeper and yeah. So that's kind of how I got into MMA. But like how I started covering it was because I was really dissatisfied, man. I was very unhappy. I think I'd mentioned this to you, but at ASU, I didn't study sports broadcasting or journalism or anything really
Mhm.
sports related. I was doing finance.
Yeah.
And for 3 years at ASU, I was really, really involved and invested at WPK, which is the School of Business, through different clubs, organizations. I taught for 3 years at ASU. I was literally Sparky, right, as the mascot. I was doing all these different things because I was trying to fill a hole. I was trying to fill this creative void that had been inside me that had left, when I started college. I was an actor for 10 years. I played drums. And I stopped doing all that when I got to college. I was like, I got to focus
Yeah.
on finance, got to do something secure. And I got to my senior year, and the last 18 months, I've just I've been like, man, I gotta change. I gotta change. I gotta do something that makes me happier. And it's risky. And obviously having an online moniker and calling myself the Bane could be, you know, I mean, it's a bit kooky and corny.
No, how
But
did it start? The Bang. Why with the Bang?
it's
The nickname.
so the nickname, yeah, I was doing Twitch streaming. I got really into Twitch streaming over the last like year and a half, 2 years.
Hmm.
And I didn't want to because, you know, I viewed Twitch and I view a lot of things as kind of an actor first perspective. It's a performance. I need to make
Yeah,
every second count because people's attention spans are so short. I'm like, I got to really hook them in right away. So I was like, I can do that better as the Bane, this
the Bang.
character. You know, that's because people get invested in the characters a lot more easily than people. I think if I was just Ben Davis,
True.
there
No,
wouldn't be,
true.
yeah, there wouldn't be that intrigue. There wouldn't be that, you know, who is this guy? And now the thing is, what I've run into is because of the corny kind of nature of it, people easily discount you, right? They discredit you. They're like, oh, who's this clown? But I've thankfully, you know, when people take a second to look at my videos or
Yeah.
things like that, they come around typically.
Yeah. So you start doing Bellator, PFL. So when you start
Yeah,
doing
so
media.
the media journey is interesting. I began covering Bellator for Tarpsoft Sports, and that was in August. And I was doing it virtually for months and months and months.
Mm,
And there were several opportunities where I should have been able to go in person and cover it, but it fell apart for this reason or another reason. All of them were out of my hands, and like that was
mm,
the most frustrating aspect of it because you know me, I broadcast a lot of my stuff on social
mhm.
media. You know, if I've got a big career thing, I'm gonna send it out because I I think people might be interested in what I'm doing and it's
Yeah.
something I'm proud of. And for all of these things, I send them out and people respond and hundreds of people like it and dozens of people
Exactly.
reply to it. And then it doesn't occur. It doesn't come to fruition. I was humiliated. I felt like a jackass.
Mm.
Um, so I was able to finally get out and cover an in-person event for Bellator in April, and then PFL. I had that opportunity. They brought me out, and that was a fantastic experience. And
Mhm.
yeah, so currently, right now, I'm not doing a ton of media work. I'm kind of waiting to see. I was supposed to be traveling a lot this summer,
What
and all my
happened?
plans. I know,
Why
yeah.
no? Why
Well,
not
I was
travel?
asking the same question. No,
Okay.
dude, it's the day of, bro. It's the day of. We're supposed to leave and fly to London, and the family that we're going with, they catch COVID, so we can't
Oh
we can't
my
go. Yeah,
god.
and now for those of you that are international travelers, you know that you can go to London without a positive or negative. You can get there;
Yeah.
it doesn't matter. But
Exactly. Yeah.
for the cruise, it's like we didn't want to risk it. Like we could have gotten to London and then spent a couple days trying to get negative tests for them, but it probably would have been illegal.
That will be. Yeah,
I
no, it's
think.
risky. Yeah.
So we just, yeah, man, it fell apart. So now I'm
Man.
here. Yeah, I'm going to Puerto Rico next week.
Oh,
So
when?
I
That's
just,
quick.
yeah, yeah. Next, well, I was like, I got to do something, right? I'm going to
San
take a
Juan,
trip.
San Juan, or where?
San Juan. Yeah, we're going to
San
San
Juan.
Juan.
Oh
Yeah,
man,
yeah,
beautiful, beautiful.
yeah,
Yeah. So I told you I live in Puerto Rico 8 years. So San
yeah.
Juan is
Exactly,
beautiful.
exactly.
It's beautiful.
Hey,
Uh,
you got to
but
send me
man,
some tips and tricks.
of course. But next time going to Dominican Republic. Next time
Maybe.
Dominican Republic. Next time. Okay.
DR. I could make it down to the DR.
That's the
There it
flag.
is.
My flag. Yeah, my country.
Maybe Licheld, we'll take a trip. You and I will take
Oh, of
a boys'
course.
night out. You know what I mean?
And
Come on.
Joe Benz, yeah. Like I was telling the people. So we met at the PFL, right?
Yep.
So I've been following Drake Riggs for a long, like 1 year now. And I know him. I know him. And like I told you, I was there to learn the game. I
Absolutely.
was learning how these people do this thing. And then I see Ben with a banana. What this guy doing? Like, and then with the mic with the finger, like so that was like very creative and very original. I say, man,
Thank you.
this
Yeah.
guy is the future. Like, you have the sense of humor, you have the content ideas, like how you get these content ideas, the videos, the reels, the shorts, the TikToks. Like, man, you are, how can I say in English? Like natural. It's natural for you. Like how
Thank
you
you.
do this.
You know, it really is. God, you're gonna hate me for this answer. It's just shit that comes into my mind, bro. You know, it's just stuff that pops up. And here's the thing: a lot of the stuff that I do with whether it be a banana or putting the mic on my finger, or just even having a lav mic in general, as opposed to a more traditional like omnidirectional Rode mic, it's practicality. It's practicality. I don't have a big budget, right? I don't have,
Yeah, of
I
course.
think, the financing or capital that some of these other journalists have with their outlets, and so
Hmm.
I was like, yeah, I can buy a $20 lav mic, and a pound of bananas is $4.
Hmm.
And ta-da! Like it's like, as
Hey,
funny as it is, it was
that's
more of
yeah,
a, yeah. It's practical. Same thing with the finger outside of UFC 274. I got there, I had my lav mic and on my phone, and that's it. That's all I need. And I think
yeah,
at some point, like I've had a lot of periods of time. This is actually why I stopped streaming, where I get a creative block. I
yeah,
don't know if you feel this, right? But your mind, you're just like, I've squeezed everything out. I don't have any more ideas. Like what is going on? That's when the anxiety sets in. And
exactly.
I don't know. I think with the approach that I'm doing right now, it's hard to have a creative block because I can use anything as a microphone. And that's like, if the kind of comedy of the video is me with a prop, and the prop is the thing, then that kind of alleviates my own internal pressure about questions. Because, like, I don't know about you, but for media stuff, I spent hours and hours researching
Hmm.
these fighters, and
Oh yeah.
watching every past interview and reading all these articles about them to
Hmm.
get the most unique questions that I could get.
Hmm.
And I know that there's a couple media members out there that don't like what I'm doing, and aren't fans of mine and don't really want me to
Why?
succeed. Yeah, well,
Why?
so
You
here, I
think
won't.
so?
Yes, I know so. Sadly,
Okay.
and I'll suggest what others have said to me as why people don't like me. I'm not going to give my own opinion on it necessarily, but what people have been told to me is, they're like, you're doing something different, and that is, that's competition, and that's something that they don't want. And I think that's where, I don't know, it's come from. Because, like, my questions aren't about the fights. My questions are about the people themselves and trying to peel back layers. And a lot of other journalists are just concerned about the fights, and that's kind of like the status quo. I don't know if that's what you picked up at PFL or the other events that you've done, but
Mhm.
there's just so much capacity. I think that there's so much potential that these media members and other journalists aren't really capitalizing on. And whether I'm doing that through making comedy videos and using a banana, or asking in-depth questions, that's what I'm going to do, because I'm concerned with the capacity and what's left on the table.
Mhm.
Instead of, oh, what's your game plan? How is the weight cut
Yeah,
going? Your
yeah.
opponent is a grappler. You're a striker. Have you brought in anyone to work on your takedown defense? I'm like, these are softball ass questions. We can do better than this, right, guys? So I don't know. I mean, it's media's. I
Hey,
don't. Yeah, media's a fun journey.
no, I was saying you're doing this, so makes sense. If you do good things, people will get a little bit. I won't say envy, but you're doing the
Yeah.
right things, man. I mean, and like I told you, we met. So we were at the weigh-ins. I think it was the weigh-ins.
Mm.
So we start to talk. We start, and I was feeling better when you told me, "Oh, I'm new in this," because I knew also. So
Yeah.
I started doing MMA at this channel like 2 years ago.
And you're on
So
fire, baby. You're killing it,
yeah.
Licheld. You're killing it.
And like I told you, my niche is Spanish. It's a Spanish
Yeah.
content. But still, I do interviews in English because if you see my channel, I have fighters that talks in English, no? So with subtitles in Spanish. But the thing is, my main content is in Spanish because for us, there's not a lot of people doing this. There's
Yeah.
not a lot.
There's capacity. That's
There's
the potential.
capacity.
That's what you're seeing. That's what you're seeing, the chips on the table,
Exactly,
right?
exactly. And
100%.
I went to PFL and I met Ben, and for me it was like I told, hey, like a very special moment because this guy is also starting, like, and I'm starting. I'm seeing how the game is doing, and you doing this thing for verdict and this also these
Yeah.
things. So right now, what you doing? What your goals are this year? Oh, who's that?
This is my little wiener dog, Delilah.
Laila Sagar? Yeah, it's a girl.
Yeah. He's a little baby.
Ah, it's good. Like I was telling you, so your goals for this year and next year and next year and next year, what you want to accomplish in an MMA or outside of MMA? Like I don't know.
It's a
If you
good
will left
question.
us.
That's right. Yeah, I've got life outside of him, right? I'm sure he does as well. No, goal setting for me is a really unique topic, because within
It's
the
hard.
same period, last 18 months, it's not that it's hard necessarily. I think that there's much more value in living in the moment and taking advantage of everything that's directly in front of you. I'm reading Matthew McConaughey's memoir called Green
Mm,
Lights, which is fantastic. I don't know if there's a Spanish translation of it. I hope there is. But there was one section of it, and I wish I had the exact quote off the top of my head, but he's talking about the present and how in his own career there were a lot of missteps that he made because he was projecting too far into the future. And I've done that same thing as well. During ASU, I had these 5-year plans, man. I had these steps that I was going to take, and it would lead to these goals. And I don't know, man. The second you try to control the future, the present starts to control you, right? So I think that there's just a lot of value in focusing right in front of me. Obviously, there's goals that I have. I mean, in the fall, you know, a little not breaking news. I've talked about this before in other places, but I've got a show that I'm starting, and it's going to be a 30-minute variety type thing, interviews with fighters, lifestyle segments. Like
YouTube,
that's a
Twitch, where?
on YouTube. Yeah, on my
YouTube.
YouTube is
Okay,
when
okay.
I'll be putting it. But like
Yeah, yeah.
that's a big project for me. That's probably one of the bigger things that I'm doing a lot of research right now, and thinking about what equipment, what kind of topics and
Mhm.
segments I want to do. And that is a big goal of mine. But I'm just, you know, I'm content with who I
With
am
the
right now, man.
present.
I'm at peace. Yeah, because for me, the verdict stuff, when I was with Fight Club, all of that came out of nowhere. It's not stuff that I applied to. It's not stuff that I necessarily had in any 5-year plan. They reached out to me and they were like, "Hey, we see your shit. We like your stuff. Do you want to come on and make TikToks? Do you want to come
Yeah.
on and be a social media manager and a media correspondent?" Like, and I look at it and I'm like, dude, the biggest opportunities I've had are because I'm just focused on what I'm doing right now and not really, I don't know, not really outlining necessarily, which is bad. Like that's obviously bad
Uh,
advice, I think. But it's just it's what's worked out for me.
no, no. Like you say, this I like that way of thinking also, because
Yeah,
we have our goals, we have things we want to accomplish, but you have to count day by day. Like you have to the days count, do great things. Because for me, I have this show where I have professional fighters, I have amateur fighters, I have people like you, like are great in what you do. So for me, this is my thing. For
yeah,
me, I want to have this year or the rest of the year one interview per week. So that's
yeah.
right now what I'm working. If I miss 1 or 2 or 3 weeks, it's okay. Nothing happens. I will try to not miss the next week. So yeah, what else? What else? I think that's all, Ben. I had my questions here. So anything else you wanna say? You wanna talk here
I'll
or any?
stretch. Hey, let's stretch it out. Let's get a quick 30 in. Come on, we can't cut at 18, baby. We got some more tread
I
on us.
mean, you had to go. I
Um,
mean, you have to get ready to. Where were you going?
well, I'm going. I got a date later. I'm going bowling. But
Ooh,
that's not until yeah, that's not until 7.
sheesh.
So
Okay,
like I
okay.
said, I got a couple hours.
So we had time. So we had
We
time.
got time.
So just say before. So your plan, this show. No, no, no. I have a question. What's going on with Diana Belbita? Like,
Ah,
what happening there? What's
Diana.
happening there?
Um, yeah, she's a good friend. You know, her and I were originally. So here's how me and Dana met, because I think a lot of people will see us interacting on a timeline or me jokingly flirting or whatever, and not really logging that
I
we're
mean, it's
friends.
it's a
You
joke.
know, exactly. But there have been some people that take it seriously
No
and that
way.
don't know
No
that her and I are
way.
friends. Yeah, no. And so like I'll get DMs and they'll be like, "You're such a creep. You're so thirsty, dude." And I'm like, dude, her and I are laughing about
No.
this shit. But no, I met her in December. So the months leading up to December, we were supposed to commentate this mixed martial arts event together called Tarps Off Fight Club, Brawl by the Falls. Um, and her and I just started talking, and we had a couple calls, and she's just a very sweet girl. She's incredibly authentic. She's so honest, honest to the point where it hurts. But she's very funny, good natured, and she's got a good head on her social media shoulders in terms of
Mhm.
like
She's so
how
funny,
to
man.
she's so funny, and she generates attention, right? She's able to get
Yeah.
a lot of people interested and invested, and I think that's just going to help her greatly as she moves forward. But she's a good friend. I always love, you know, joking with her on the timeline. But yeah, it's
But you also have connections, and you talk in Twitter and everything with other fighters. So for you, this
yeah.
is special. Like have this connection with professional fighters. It's how you do that.
Oh, I mean, how do I do that? Well, it's Lichel. How do you do relationships with anybody?
I mean,
Everybody is a person.
I mean,
Come
I know,
on,
but
come on.
for yeah, but for me, these fighters are like, I mean, it's a little bit hard to get
Sure.
them. So
Yeah.
how you do
I
that?
Man, this might sound okay. This is not meant to come off in
Do
like a dick
whatever,
manner.
say whatever you want to say. This is your show too.
they're
Say whatever you
they're
want to say.
people. They're people, man. They're
True,
just like
true.
us. And for me, my biggest thing that I've been working on is not be starstruck. I don't want to meet a fighter and act like a fan. I want to, in terms of my interactions, it's all professional. It's
It's
all very
professional.
informal.
Thank
Yeah,
you. Yeah.
like I'm not gonna sit here and here's the thing, man. And this was brought up to me by Oscar Willis from the Mac Life. Him and I were chatting, and I look back and I specifically Bellator in April. There's a couple amateur things I did, man. There were a couple fan-esque things that I did.
Oh.
I know. So and I won't throw him under the bus necessarily, but the other journalist that I was with, him and I were rooming together. It was he's a couple years younger than me, but he's doing good work. But he is, we both should have been like there's specifically when we were post-fight press conferences, right? They bring the fighters back and we'd ask questions and things like that.
No.
Oh my God, this is so cringy and embarrassing to say. I'm
Oh
realizing
my God.
exactly what Oscar meant. We'd film each other asking the questions. And then that would be part of just our catalog of the evening. And in the moment, it didn't really feel all that bad necessarily. I was like, well, this is something I want to like remember and maybe some content that would
Okay.
be good to get. Right. It made sense. But now looking back on it, and especially with what Oscar and a couple of the other journalists that I was chatting with that night had brought up, I was like, yeah, fuck, that's an amateurish type move. So it's
Hey, but
all
you're
about,
learning. You're
but I'm learning.
learning.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's kind of like, here's the thing. I'll never beat myself up too much. That was my first in-person event ever.
No.
You didn't see me doing that at PFL, did you?
Oh, no, no, no.
See, I'm learning, I'm growing. But it's I think that's in terms of relationships with fighters and trying to meet people and become connected and friends. It's just people are people, man. I'm trying to do my thing, and I think that fighters, what they want the most out of people is just for people to treat them the same.
Like people.
I don't know. I mean, maybe yeah, like people, exactly. Like there's a lot of value and importance in having these fans and people being starstruck and holding them up on these platforms. That's great for their confidence, right? They're going into a cage trying to murder somebody. They need to be gassed up. They need to be, feeling like on a different level than everyone else. But for me, in terms of like meeting fighters and having them hold positive impressions of me, and not even fighters, I mean, media members, anybody, it's just treat them how I treat a homie, right? That's what it all comes down to.
So this show you thinking about your next show,
Yeah.
it will be like an interview show. It will be a show where
That's
you're talking with the fans. I mean, fans or followers or people that
yeah.
follow you in the YouTube and your social media. Like, what's the format of your show?
What's the point? What's the intention? What's the layout? Good
Yep.
questions, man. And the way that I'm going to try to execute this, and again, I'm going to try to. I think that there's going to be a lot of errors that I make within the first couple months, maybe of doing it.
Of
But
course.
of course, yeah, right. It's a learning process. Long story outside of it. I had a show before when I was in high school, and I loved it. Now looking back, I'm like, I could have done things so much better. So now I'm trying to apply that here. But the format that I want it to be is 30 minutes, quick, efficient, clean. I mean, 30 minutes is not a lot of time, so people can kind of commit to it. I think that the biggest thing within MMA and the content creators that are in it, and it's not a negative. I'm not saying that this is something that they should change, but some of the content that I see is hours long, bro, 2 hours, 3 hours long. A lot of that's betting based. It's people breaking down each fight. So it makes sense that it's a lot longer. But for me, I'd love it to be 15 minutes of chatting with a fighter. An interview is a bad way of putting it. It's more of just a conversation. I'm not going to ask questions about a fight. I'm just going to, be like, hey, when was the last time you like shit your pants, and just shit like that. more fun, more conversational stuff that I think that stuff that I think fighters would want to talk about. That's not the fights. I don't know how many people would want to talk about the last time they shit their pants was, but that's kind of the same realm. And then the next 15, I want it to be some more lifestyle pieces. I'd love to go out and interview business owners or different people within the Arizona, greater Phoenix area, and just kind of get some life stories, man. And then edit that together for a quick 5-7 minute segment. And then maybe end the show with talking about an upcoming card or just MMA news. Cause I want it to be MMA related, obviously, but the title, right? The title that I'm thinking right now is have you seen Wayne's World? No, Lichald, you never seen Wayne's World? Oh no. Okay, so Wayne's Wayne's World is it's from the '90s. It started as a Saturday Night Live skit with Mike Myers, who obviously
Okay.
Austin Powers, and
Austin,
he's been
yes, of
involved in
course.
yeah. So he did Wayne's World, and it's just this like I wish I could explain it in a better way, but it's like a little show that he does in his basement with I think oh my god now see I think it's Dana Carvey is who his co-star was, but that might be wrong. Either way, I'm thinking of calling my show Bane's World because it rhymes and it's funny. And I think that the title kind of implies what you're going to be expecting. It's kind of my world. It's going to be people in Phoenix. It's going to be chatting with these fighters that I have
Of
good
course.
relations with. And, there's a couple guests I want to bring on. Obviously, I want to bring on Diana. I want to bring on Billy. Brendan Fitzgerald is a guy that I'd love to
Mhm,
have on. Jeff Molina. Chris
mhm,
Dawkins would be great to bring in. He seems like a super fun cat.
mhm.
But it's just, yeah, like that's half of it's going to be talking with the fighters. Half of it's going to be content that I want to do. And the reason why I'll give you this is like the super deep
I love it.
break.
Give me
Yeah,
all, man.
yeah.
Give me all. I love
Well,
it.
I really would like it to be a springboard because for me, like I said, all the opportunities that I've gotten are because people see my shit, they like it,
Mhm,
and then they're like, hey, we want to bring you on and do this. So if I can put together a really well produced 30-minute show and every second of the show, like I said with the Twitch streaming and as an actor, every second of the show, you're like, that was really good. I want more of
mhm.
that. I'm hoping to use it as a springboard to greenlight another show, which would require a shit ton more capital than I currently
Of
have
course.
called
Yeah.
so this one's like way deeper down the line. I haven't spoken to anything
Yeah. And it
exclusive. I
will
haven't told
come.
anyone about
It
this
will
one.
come because if you
Um,
do it right, that will be.
I
Yeah,
I
it will
think
come.
so. For me, I'm. It's so interesting because on social media, obviously the operative focus for most people is likes, retweets, interactions,
Yeah.
all those different things. But for me, when it comes to things like this, when it comes to like the broadcasting work that I do,
Mhm.
it's about the content.
The
It's about the
content.
content first and foremost. If the content's great, then I don't know if I really mind if people watch it or don't watch it. Obviously, I'll promote it and do what I can to
Mhm.
make sure it gets to all the eyes that I'd want it to be. If I'm proud of it, I want it to be shared and I want people to see it. But that's the thing. If I'm proud of it, I'm happy with whatever happens. And so
Yeah.
I'm hoping that 30-minute show is good. And then at some point down the line, um, another organization can greenlight this show called Bane Without Borders, where I just kind of like go internationally, different countries. Have you seen Anthony Bourdain's show, Parts Unknown?
Yeah. He died, right? That was
He
the
did
guy.
die, sadly. Yeah, he died.
That was, yeah.
That is such a rough response to that.
Yeah, I
Have you
mean
seen
that's
this guy's show? Yeah, he's dead, right? Oh my
I mean that's
god.
why I know him. I know he
Yes,
cook.
he sadly passed away. He was a chef.
He was
I
chef.
believe he had
Yeah.
a couple Michelin star type restaurants, and then CNN gave him a show called Parts Unknown, and it's like 14 seasons is what it ran for, and he just went to every country, talked to locals there, ate a shit ton of great food. So I'm
Hmm.
thinking something in that realm where it's almost a documentary type approach. Go
Oh,
somewhere,
that's
talk to
gold.
people. Yeah, no, it's bold as hell. But I grew
Wow.
up watching Anthony Bourdain. My parents would toss it on all the time, and I loved the execution of the show. I just thought it was a fantastic product, and I think that here's where my ego and my narcissism might pop up. I think I could do something similar, right? I
Of
think that
course, man.
I don't. I have that self belief where I'm like, I see what he's doing, and in my mind, I've got this vision of how I could do it. Similar, obviously, not emulating it completely or replicating it, be
Your style.
fully original, but it'd be my style. But it'd be in that same ballpark of documentary type, chatting with people, just ears to the ground type, human on human interaction. And
Mhm.
I don't know. I don't know what the market is for that, right? But it's a project that I would like to do at some point, whether it be something that's continuous or just a one-off. I fly to Kansas and interview some people there. I don't know, but
Oh my
I
god.
think yeah,
Hey,
in terms of
hey.
goals and shit that I got, that's what
No,
I
no,
got.
no. And hey, I know you can do it. Like I told you, I know
Yeah,
you can do it. It's just do the thing. It's just starting now. This project you have, and I know it will do great. It's just discipline. It's just I don't know. It's just be
it's just doing
humble.
it. Yeah,
Doing it. Yeah.
I think that, and this is why I love that I haven't really let the financial side of things stop me up until this point, right? Is because sorry if you're getting ambient noise. I could have easily seen, oh, I only have a lav mic, I only have a banana, I can't do this. I'm
Yeah.
not prepared. And I was, dude, right before I went out to San Jose for Bellator 277, I was looking up
Mhm.
rental rates for cameras and audio equipment, and it would have been like $800 a
No,
week
no.
to rent all this shit. And I was like, you know, I had that anxiety of, okay, I'm not bringing the most professional equipment. But then I also remembered, yeah, guess fucking what? I'm not the most professional person ever.
True.
So if my branding and like who I am and what's true to me, I don't think that's me walking around with an 8K camera and a
Mhm.
$400 mic,
Of
right?
course.
Like I can achieve results that are the same that are way cheaper.
Of course. And so I also start with a Lavermeer. Then,
Yeah,
so I save money. So I have this. So I have two monitors. I had that. I had this. I had this mic, right? And of
yeah,
course my computer. So, but this was years and years saving money for this.
completely. Yeah, no,
So
it's an
because
investment.
it's
Yeah,
an investment, and also it's a thing I believe I'm doing good.
you
So
are.
if you do your this new project you have good, man, I know you will kill it, man. I know. It's just discipline, be humble, and do the good things.
I think that's what a lot of people might forget, and something that I get knocked on. People tell me again, sort of like the thing with Diana. Um, I don't know. People see me and they kind of see because like the thing is the Bane, and you got a bit of this at PFL. It's very much me. It's a slight exaggeration, right? And when I've got the
Yeah.
glasses on, dude, I get called a douchebag. I get called arrogant. I
Oh
get
my
called
god.
egotistical. Yeah, man. I've been through the ring. I've got some people that like online, Twitter especially, that really just don't like me. And
Nah,
anytime
don't look those. No, don't look that
yeah,
way.
I don't put too much stock in it. It doesn't really get to me that much. There's one guy, I'll tell you what, just one guy that pisses me
Okay.
off. His name's Richard, and it's not you. It's a different guy, but he sucks, dude. His name's like Richard Pierce, and for months anytime that I don't even know how he finds me. We don't follow each other. I don't know how he finds me. But like every few weeks, he'll just like pop up and just start trashing on me, saying my career's done. You're
It's
such a
your number
clown.
one fan.
I know, right? I know.
It's your number one
Um,
fan. Yeah.
do you want to know why? Do you want to know why he dislikes me?
Why?
We got into an argument over LFA flyweight champion Charles Johnson because Charles Johnson is fighting Muhammad Makayev, and this guy Richard doesn't know who Charles Johnson is, and so he's like trashing Johnson, and I'm kind of I get kind of frustrated when, and I might
Me
do this
too.
sometimes as well.
No,
But
no,
if
me
if
too.
you
I know what you're
if
saying.
yeah, if you discount a fighter and you don't know who they are, it's like
I
just
hate
shut the
that.
hell up. But the thing about Charles Johnson is he beat my friend Carlos Mota Tizil, who just won yesterday in a North Iowa Fight League. Got a first round KO. Let's go, Carlos. But you know he beat Carlos. Charles did not too long ago, and so I was going to bat for Charles on behalf of Carlos, sort of. And me and Rich just got into it, and it kind of stunned me when I went back and found why this guy disliked me. That it was so small. It's a disagreement about a fighter, but then it's turned into this dude just antagonizing me over and over again. So I don't know about you, dude, but people online are fucking
No,
weird
man.
sometimes.
So, like I told you, I don't use much Twitter.
Yeah,
I use this Instagram to upload my things, and that's it. I don't read comments. I don't. Before, like 2, 3 years, 4 years ago, I was all day like,
yeah,
like replying comments.
clued in, wired in. Yeah, not anymore.
Now we are. I think we are in another position where we have to create content and we have to do our own things. Stop giving time to these haters, these people that doesn't make sense. What we
Well,
can
it
do
doesn't
is
make you
we have got
happy.
these fighters and interview them and talk with them, and hey, that's it. The haters, we will be mad, like, oh, why you have this guy in your show? Because
Mm,
they are our number one fans. They always know what we're doing. They always know.
exactly.
They create second
Somehow.
accounts. Yeah, they create second accounts and the third accounts just to follow us and to see when we block them. Because for me, I don't like to block, right? I don't like to block
Yeah,
anybody.
I don't like doing it.
So, but there's not. I have like 3 or 4 blocks. That's it. But it's
Yeah.
when you cross the line, like, no, man, no, that's it.
I So the funny thing is I have a lot of accounts blocked, but they're not people, they're like
Yeah,
brands and organizations. Cause like
ah,
I have
oh,
like
okay,
it's funny. I know.
okay.
I have like Snapchat blocked. I've got like Ford, the motor company blocked. Cause I'm like, I don't want to see your bullshit promoted tweets. Like,
Of course. I got you.
so I'll block them instantly. Like I'll be like, you're done. But random
Yeah.
people, yeah. Cause like my thing with blocking, and it's I didn't realize how invested some people are in this. But on Twitter, they make a big deal sometimes if you block them, right? They're like, "Oh my God, I own this
Yeah,
fraud. He blocked
yeah,
me. I
yeah.
win." I
I
don't want
know.
to. I don't want to give people that satisfaction because it doesn't mean
True.
that much to me. It's just words online, and like I get how repeated and really directed and targeted things. That's different than kind of what I've experienced. But I don't know. Yeah, blocking people is like if people don't like here's the thing. Some people don't like my videos, man. A lot of people will comment and say, "Oh, this isn't funny." I'll just be like, "I respect your opinion. I
Mm.
respect your opinion." Hit him with a
Oh
a
yeah,
fist
the
bump
emoji,
emoji,
the
and
emoji. Like
yeah,
okay.
it's like cool. This ain't your type of content. Like, is what it is. I get like I get that, dude. There's content that I don't really like. It's not a personal thing, which is why I think that a lot of people need to learn on Twitter, especially, and I keep focusing on Twitter just because that's the one I use the most.
No, of course.
Social media in general, it's not personal a lot of the time. People critiquing your work, and granted, a lot of people will say, "Oh, well, my work is my personal. I put so much into it." I feel like you're conflating that. You're making an error of conflating your art with yourself, and you're putting your self worth and your um, kind of just like volatility in an external thing that people might not like or like it. It could be fantastic, but if people don't like it and then you get upset about it, it's like
True.
what the fuck? Wasted energy on your
Yeah.
part. So it's like
True.
yeah. I mean, I would if I put out a comedy video, the goal is obviously make people laugh, make people smile, but I'm not gonna cry over a small percentage of people that don't
True.
like it.
That's true.
There's no point. There's no point.
That's true, Ben. And I know you had to go in an hour or a
Sure.
couple of minutes. So anything else you wanna say here? A message, or I don't know, a story or something to finish this
Sure.
interview?
Yeah, I'll reiterate a little bit what I was saying with kind of the lav mic and the banana and my lack of equipment. I think for anyone that is interested in getting into MMA, period, right? Whether it be writing as a journalist, whether it be creating content, whether it be betting and you want to make a betting show, I just think it's important to do it, right? And you'll echo this. It's just do it, just put it out there, and the market will show itself or it won't. And if it doesn't, that's perfectly fine. If nobody watches your shit, that's fine. God, I found this out last night. So this is very recent. So the entirety of 2020 from March of 2020 to November of 2020, I ran this UFC 4 simulated fight league. I called it Online World Championships, and I would put together because, dude, I had like 55 cards. I had like OFC on ESPN type
It's
cards. Like it
awesome.
was, I know, yeah, it was all simulated fights. It'd be me sitting in my bed, and I'd watch this like hour and a half of simulated fight cards. And I'd film it. I'd put it up on Twitter. I did that for a year, and the account has 12 followers. But I enjoyed it. I loved doing it. It
Yeah,
was so much fun, and I got so invested in the simulated fights, and there'd be
yeah,
fighters
I
that
love that too. Yeah.
yeah, it's just fun. And so like for me, that's I guess to end off with one thing is just do it, and whatever makes you happy, whatever makes you satisfied, focus on it. Don't let it go. And when you start to maybe feel like the spark's not there anymore, take time away. Don't burn yourself out. I've burnt myself out before on shit, and you know, you can't. I haven't been able to regain that spark when it burns out in that manner. The Twitch streaming, I did it for a year. It was fantastic. I had a group of people that were watching consistently, and it meant the world to me. But I hit that period where I was losing that spark, but I kept pushing, I kept streaming, and now I don't think I can get back to it because I just got so burnt out. My passion was gone for it. So if you're feeling that with the content that you make, just step away, let it come back to you instead of burning it into the ground.
Awesome, awesome, Ben. Hey, this was a great time talking to you.
And
Uh,
likewise, man.
I'm glad to know you. Like I told you, like in this MMA media world, I can call you a friend because, man,
Yeah,
I think I know you, and I think I click with you. Like, hey, like
we're
I,
similar, baby. We're two sides of the same
hey,
coin. You've got
yes,
the
sir,
the
yes,
the,
sir.
the Democratic Republic. I got the USA.
Dominican, Dominican, not
Dominican. Oh my God, I say
Dominican.
Democratic.
Yeah. Well, yeah, man. So yeah, for me this time, I appreciate, appre what's the word?
Appreciate.
I appreciate your time.
I appreciate
Yeah.
you, man.
So I appreciate your time being here. So where people can find you in the social media?
I am at Ben the Bane Davis on all platforms. I do the TikToks for Verdict MMA. So if you go to at Verdict MMA and then follow us on the TikTok, that's where I post a lot of stuff as well. But yeah,
Okay, Ben Davies, Lichald Scott MMA podcast. See you next time.